welcome to the Black Gold Homestead channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you along with me while I repot some plants and pot up this little begonia cutting here. And I just want to give you an update on my amaryllises. They've been outside now for a couple of months and they're all doing really good, putting on lots of new growth. And here are the two small ones I got recently. They're not looking too bad either. This one has some dieback, but it should regrow here before too long. And the other ones are doing all quite well. The clivia back here has finished flowering for the year. It had orange flowers with yellow centers. It's a relative of the amaryllis. And everything's doing pretty well. Here, I just want to show you all, is a little tiny hemlock seedling that we're growing in this little pot. It's doing pretty good too. And now let's get into the video. The first thing I want to pot up is this begonia cutting. This is a cane begonia, an angel wing type, and I've had it rooting in water for some time. And I think that this is a good sized pot for it. So first of all, I want to take and add a bit of my soil mix, which I've talked about this mix in other videos, but it's a potting soil premix, and then I add sand and compost with a little bit of extra perlite and vermiculite for drainage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little hole in here, as you can see, and that hole will allow me to set the bottom of this cane down into it, like so. So then I can come in and fill in above the roots, and you can give it a good tap here and there, and tapping it down like that lets the roots settle. You can also firm it with your hands like this, but sometimes if you do it too hard and a plant is fibrous rooted, meaning it has real fine small roots, that can cause damage. But usually just tapping it like that is sufficient. And there we go. The begonia cutting is now potted up. Now this will go back inside the house in the east-facing window, and it'll get nice morning sun there. And it should do quite well. Here it is. Okay, the next thing I want to show you all and plant up is a plant that's new to me. It's called a flame violet, and it's related to the African violet, so I should do okay with it because I do pretty good with African violets. But it kind of produces these little runners like a strawberry plant would, and you can either cut these off for propagation or let it grow as a trailing plant. But I think I'm going to try growing it in one of these small clay pots here. Now, since there is a good sized drainage hole and I don't want to lose any soil, I'm going to put some pieces of shale down in the bottom as crockery, and this will also help with any drainage. Because this plant has kind of fuzzy stems and all, and is kind of thicker leafed, it doesn't need as much water as certain plants like the begonia I planted up, and it'll be a good idea to let it dry out between waterings. It's kind of rooted in here pretty good, it feels. Yep, it has a decent root system there. Now, this plant I want to try to attempt to pot up using a method that I really like, where you take a pot and nest it down inside of the larger pot. You then take your soil and fill in around that pot. Like so. And then just come in and kind of firm it in around the sides. Help it hold its shape and all. And then add more soil if you need. Like so. And then, hopefully when I take this out, I'll have a perfect size planting hole. And I can add the plant right into the hole, and everything is good to go. And there it is, it's planted up. After doing that, though, I do recommend taking it and just tapping it, and that'll settle in the loose soil around the root ball, and you can press it down a little bit. So, peperomias are the next two plants I'm going to be working with. This is a Peperomia gravelans called Ruby Glow, and you can see the leaves grow folded over, and they're very thick and succulent-like. And the next variety is, I don't know the name, but they call it a happy bean peperomia because it resembles a bean. And you can also see that the leaves are kind of folded over themselves. And because they're succulent-like, I will probably be treating them more like a succulent. And I'm adding crockery into the pots, and I won't water them for probably a good week after I pot them up, unless they are in desperate need of it, because plants that are more succulent-like can rot if overwatered. Well, any plant can, but especially succulent ones. So this plant I already took a look at earlier, and it doesn't have much of a root system. So we're just going to come in and loosen the soil. There's a very small root system to it. And then the other two are going to be potted up together. See if that's deep enough for it. That looks like a good height. Now, although I've never grown peperomias like these, I have other varieties of peperomias that are kind of mildly succulent, if that's what you want to call them. I have a Peperomia obtusifolia, variegata. I have a parallel peperomia, the Peperomia tetragona, and I have teardrop peperomia, and some other varieties. So I feel like because these are in the same genus, they should do okay for me. Alright, so this one's planted up. And now we'll do the last two plants. remove some of this soil because it's quite moist. And like I said, these can be prone to rotting. And removing the soil and some of the roots won't hurt these plants one bit because they can store water in their leaves, which is a really useful device for certain species of plants. That shaking is just to settle the soil a little bit. And we can trim it down a bit. And I can place my plants in it. If anyone has any questions on how to pot up plants and care for them, please comment down below and we will try to make videos on the plant that you're asking about. It's really quite easy. My mix that I use is pretty free draining. Some plants do like extra moisture, but in general, if you have a potting mix that drains better and doesn't hold on to moisture, that's the best bet, because you can always water extra. It's better to underwater than overwater your plants. So thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good day.